Dear Christ. Close enough. Fuck it, we're gonna... Okay, we get the hint. Alright. Welcome to the Doctor Who review show that has no title, but believe me, we'll figure it out by episode 4, hopefully. Frankly, we're working off the same program that the showrunner and everybody else is. They probably know the title, but we don't.
Welcome to the Doctor Who equivalent of Trek Yards, but by amateurs.
Amen.
Okay. Right. Today's discussion is about The Woman Who Fell to Earth, Series 11, Episode 1 for Doctor Who. Where to start with this story?
Well, here's the funny thing, though. I feel like it didn't even start, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, we got a beginning sequence when it came to Ryan on YouTube for some reason. Don't know why. I mean, yeah, sure.
It made sense in the long run.
It was an interesting way to just say, this shit just happened and I don't know how to come to terms with it. So here I am on my small YouTube channel trying to vent it out to you guys, all 37 of you.
But I will say this though, about that whole video concept. How dare those two people that disliked?
How dare they?
How dare they?
Let's just blame it on the fact that they're racist. Yeah, they're racist. Oh, man, God. Anyway.
I can't believe we said that and it's only been not even 2 minutes. Wow. I mean, God. I knew this would get brought up at some point, but I didn't think it would take 2 minutes.
Now, man.
I'll be honest. The first major complaint I have, no title sequence.
No title sequence.
Yeah.
I was anticipating the damn title sequence, but when I saw the announcement on, I forget what news outlet, but there's so many of them just spouting out bullshit about it, saying this, and this. Oh, this is going to be revolutionary and whatnot. I mean, yeah, this is also going to be a thing. Also topped off with the fact that there's not going to have an underlying story arc, which I'm actually fine with. Seriously, we've had so many epics, if you will, from the past few seasons, from Smith's era onwards, that just fell flat. Even on a universe-shattering scale, it just felt like it was excessive. Moffat overstayed his welcome with those, to be honest. Then again, Moffat overstayed his welcome with a lot of things, Doctor Who. But that's besides the point. Now we have Chibnall, a new take that kind of feels a little Hartnell-like, but also with a dash of modern storytelling.
Yeah,
which is nice.
And as far as the whole idea with the story arcs and stuff, I mean, I see where they don't want to do story arcs, mainly because they've shit their pants in the last handful of them. But I'm finding it hard to believe that these are not like self-contained stories in some sense.
I mean, it's going to be a character arc, that's for sure.
Right. I mean, the problem I have is if you're trying to keep everything separate and things like that, and you don't have such a big cliffhanger the way they did it. I mean, it's one of those. It feels like when you have a cliffhanger, to me, it feels like you're trying to set something up and it connects the stories. Which you do that enough times, it's going to become a story arc whether you meant it to be there or not. Now, I don't know if they'll do that I don't know if they'll do that next week going from 2 to 3, but I don't know how I feel about them doing it now, even though they just said that they're not going to do it.
That cliffhanger, though, we're skipping over to the cliffhanger already, where they just materialized in space. Oh, they haven't frozen up like you'd see in Oxygen, but here they are, just suffocating in space, and end of episode, wait till next Sunday.
Well,
shit.
And it's one of those, my hunch with that whole thing, because they were tracking on the TARDIS's signature.
Whereabouts? For all we know, the TARDIS may be there, and they may not be suffocating because they look like they were just dangling there. Maybe they're within the TARDIS's force fields or something.
Which one surprised me, being that that's their big point, was they were trying to lock onto that. So it wouldn't surprise me much if that's what happened, was they're involved with that.
Next thing you know, instantly the cliffhanger will be resolved by you seeing the TARDIS materializing around them.
Yep, might as well call it now.
Yeah, it's almost obvious. Speaking of obvious things, Grace and Graham. When it came to Grace, you'd think, oh yeah, she seems like a nice, sensible character, one that could be around for a very long time. Oh, but wait, she wasn't announced with the rest of the companions. So it was only obvious that she was going to die. Well, didn't know when, but she was going to.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's one of those, I wouldn't say that. At first, I saw that and thought, maybe, I wonder what's going to happen. I thought if she was going to die, I thought it would have been early in the episode. I didn't think it would be this thing at the end of the episode, what the whole plot was kind of coming to, but I figured you're either setting it up for something like that, or you're setting her up to be in a similar role as you had with what was his name? Wilfred from the 10th Doctor era.
Could have had something along the lines of Wilfred, of just being that cheerleader character, if you will.
Just a character that pops in from time to time. Something that like your companion characters to be will have a reason to leave later, or something of the sort.
We could have kept Grace alive and have the three characters help 13 just teleport, and they didn't come willfully. They just accidentally disappeared with her when she was the only one who was meant to disappear.
Right, which
could have been left in those circumstances, and Grace could have been left perfectly fine.
And my thing with that is, and with that part, I'm like, I figured your head was done being fried by this point.
It takes within.
Know that's going to happen.
From what I remember, back in the Christmas Invasion and various other regenerations, the Twin Dilemma, there's a long 15-hour process where your mind is, the Doctor or Time Lord's mind is fucking scrambled, and you just picking at loose threads of old memories that haven't been surfaced in centuries.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those looking around, I'm like, and it's one of those just looking at the Doctor's character for this episode, I'm like, I generally say, first off, you really can't judge any of that right now. You can't judge it from a first episode after regeneration. First impressions are great and all, but I don't think you can base what the Doctor's character is going to be off of the whole, last 15, 20 minutes or so of...
Oh yeah, I just realized who I am, and now I'm starting to get a hold of the situation that's gone on in front of me, like,
right,
with that fucking alien, the Taisha or whatever. Yeah. With teeth, and I don't know about that. That was an interesting little. It felt more like a subplot than what was actually going on. Okay, here's this squid thing that actually isn't quite living and isn't quite entirely mechanical, collecting data to go and lock onto some random civilian for this alien to go and kill to prove that he's worthy of being ruler of his species.
Right. And that's one of those I'm thinking,
It was a test run really for 13, and that was pretty much it. It's like when you buy it's right before you buy a new car and you go drive around the block with it.
Yeah, and it makes it sometimes it's, and the problem was, and I think it was mentioned a bit having to do with adrenaline and things like that. It was hard to tell. It seemed like what parts were, oh my, I can't figure out what's going on. I don't know who I am. My head is fried, etc., etc. And okay, I've got adrenaline going. I'm starting to kind of get my shit together, so to speak. But so
it's like felt like very much Matt Smith-esque. The excitement was overwhelming and, frankly, a little bit intoxicating. But she was likable.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I'd like to see a darker side of this incarnation in particular. I want to see how she reacts to genocide. I want to see what it's like when the Doctor's choices are extremely questionable and the companions react, and how the Doctor reacts to the companions' reaction, and how she reacts to these situations and rationalizes it in front of you.
Right, and from what I've seen based off of these companions to start with, I don't see anywhere where there's going to be, these companions basically telling the Doctor, get a grasp of yourself and get your shit together. I don't see basically another Clara-esque character coming in and basically saying, if you do what I think you're about to do, I'm gonna smack you until you regenerate again.
Yeah, really.
None of these characters seem to really
I
fit
like
that
the companion just puts the Doctor into his place by just being sassy, like Lucy Miller in the Eighth Doctor audios, or Donna, sure, or Romana for that matter, where Romana was an intellectual equal and then some.
Right.
I mean, come on.
But I mean,
would be nice.
And I think, there's a difference between, you look at a character like a Romana, who is, frankly, the same species, frankly. Somebody
would be nice.
Somebody that is considered to be an equal. Somebody that is an intellectual. Not just some random schmuck that you found off the street. And
like usual.
Right. It's one of those, it's gonna be somebody... And that's why I couldn't care much for some aspects of that kind of thing coming from like a Clara character or I believe it happened in pretty much through most of 11's era, because I'm pretty sure Amy did that quite a bit too. This whole basically you need to be like this, yada 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 yada, and that kind of thing, and it doesn't seem right, just mainly because the Doctor is just so far ahead of
everyone else. So the human companions are there for, being our window into this universe, because otherwise we'd be completely and utterly lost, and there would be no one for the Doctor to explain what the fuck is going on.
It's one of those, as far as I'm concerned, the companion's role is this: be the asky questions one, and you occasionally be the moral soundboard and things like that when you go too far, but it's not your primary job. Your job is basically make sure the audience knows what the hell is going on. I mean, you can have a little personality.
I like it when the companion isn't quite on board with everything that the Doctor does. And one thing that really, really got me in one of the trailers for Series 11, the companions pretty much just, all of them said that, she's in charge. Well, says who? Says us. Like, well, shit, okay.
Yeah.
They just put in their complete and utter blind trust in the Doctor, and I don't think that's the best idea, because the Doctor has done some questionable things in the past, i.e. Time War, or that time the Seventh Doctor destroyed Skaro's son in remembrance of the Daleks.
Right. Now, and granted, they don't know that, and also, like I said, you don't, with these trailers, like I said, you don't know when this takes place. This could be episode 5, 6, where everybody's kind of settled back in to an extent and things like that. But
yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm trying
a few other examples.
Trailers. I thought the trailers were a massive fucking train wreck. I'm trying to avoid those.
The trailers. The trailers were they misrepresented. I feel like they misrepresented what what the 13th Doctor is going to be. Like,
right. And a lot
especially with the background music. The background music felt so removed from any aspect of Doctor Who ever.
Yeah, and the thing about it was, and this was what, and I was scared shitless of this from a lot of the reading I've done. I've watched a few different YouTube channels and things like that to see what other people's opinions are, reading articles and things like that. I was half expecting this to turn into a frickin' political campaign.
Everyone kept saying how wonderful it is that the Doctor is now a female. Yes, we get it. It's pretty nice that we're having a female incarnation now, but that's not the point of the narrative here.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that happened, and even 13 just moved on.
Right.
Made a couple of remarks about it not worn women's clothing in a while.
And it's one of those.
Yeah.
When I first heard that, that irritated the shit out of me because I thought what they were trying to get to was this whole running gag that they've had for years now, basically saying that the Doctor was a female before the show started, so to speak.
Ooh, jumping into the theories like, what are the Morbius Doctors? Even though they're just just the production team put in front of a camera and with heavily distorted pictures.
Right.
But still, though, it makes you question future or past incarnations. But that's besides the point. That's not what we're here for. But yeah, plus it also touches the idea of how many incarnations came before the first? Is this a second set, or is this second set of regeneration?
Second set, or this would be like the third?
Oh yeah, this would be the third. I mean, if you think about it, when it comes to Time of the Doctor, but still.
Now, what bugs me a little bit was this whole idea of that, because I think it just defeats the purpose.
Maybe you could just say that it's just a throwaway line. Let's be honest here. I mean, it's Chibnall trying to give a good old nod to previous eras of the Doctor, just saying, I had tea with Genghis Khan or something.
Yeah, but something like that I can believe.
That may have happened, but did it really? Did it really, Doctor? Are you just saying that for good old-fashioned party tricks?
But that's something that I can believe would actually happen, or that actually be a thing. What I find hard to believe is that we would be throwing extra incarnations here, there, and everywhere. I mean, next thing you know,
last thing we need is another War Doctor.
Yeah.
Even though the War Doctor was good in his own right, especially with the monstrous and infernal devices and whatnot.
And it was one of those.
They were good audios, but anyway.
Right. And the thing with the War Doctor was I think it was mainly a coincidence, but it was convenient to the fact that you could put the War Doctor in there, because there was this giant hole created by the fact of you had the 8th Doctor for the movie and the 9th Doctor starting in 2005, and you had this whole chunk of area with nothing there. So it was convenient.
Yeah.
But what bugs me is what if they keep doing what they're doing, saying, this might have happened, this might have not have happened. As such, the idea of having there being a female incarnation before the first, per se, it would bug me in the fact that what's the next thing are they going to do? Are they going to plug in some random Doctor that we've never heard of in between 4 and 5, even though we saw 4 regenerate into 5 and retcon the whole damn thing?
Ooh, the Watcher Doctor! Oh, no.
I could have picked a lot better examples than that.
That's actually a pretty good example, because all I thought of was the Watcher.
Damn it.
Right from the get-go. Oh, yeah. There were so many stories made by Big Finish that take place right during Logopolis.
God damn it.
This hideous KKK-looking plaster-faced motherfucker being this incarnation of the Doctor. He had the struggles of people judging him because he looked fucking hideous.
God damn.
The internal struggles. But anyway.
Okay, so what
let's get on.
You know, in one thing that I will say I did like a lot, though, and this involves the Sonic, I like the description of referring to it as a
Swiss Army knife.
Sonic or Swiss Army knife, and minus the knife, of course.
I mean, yeah, it's not a weapon, but fuck it.
How many guns has that thing blown up?
Yeah, how many turrets have been blown up? How many, for some reason, targets have been blown up, like in Robots of Sherwood?
Yeah, how many? Like Robots of Sherwood. Look at the targets blowing up. I still don't know how that happened, but the targets blew up. Look at, like, the Sea Devils setting off the landmines.
That was a nice little demonstration of the device, other than watching a screw get unscrewed in the war games.
Yeah, but that's a screwdriver. That's its job. At the time, it was a screwdriver. It wasn't a Swiss Army knife. It was a screwdriver.
Yeah, I mean, as time went on, just more and more settings were added, except wood. Oh, God forbid wood for some reason.
Well, I shouldn't say that it... I mean, okay, and... Alright, fine, and if we want to complain about wood, I have a complaint about wood. Because I did catch some of the last parts of the rerun of Day of the Doctor before this episode aired.
Oh, yeah, before the pre-show.
Remember when the War Doctor 10 and 11 were stuck in the Tower of London and they wanted to dismantle the door? I'm pretty sure that door was made of wood.
Yeah, like...
Now, granted, they said it would take 400-some years to dismantle said door made out of wood.
Oh, centuries, as they were saying.
Centuries and shit like that, and they covered like 4 centuries in 10 seconds, but still... If the Sonic doesn't do wood, anybody see the problem here?
I call bullshit. Because...
I mean, I'm just saying. Now, granted...
Because, we could have had so much... Yeah, they just covered so much ground with the calculations for being able to go through wood that...
And it doesn't even do wood!
Why isn't it capable of being used on wood? Come on.
I mean... It bugs me. It just
multi-purpose device that was meant to be just an occasional thing, an occasional plot device, but it's just a cop out left and right now. I mean, sure, it was the scenes for 13 just forging a new one was kind of cool, but
now and I thought that was neat. I wonder how long that it's going to stick around for, or if it's going to be, or if they're trying to build some kind of running gag that every time you want to use the Sonic, it's going to blow up in your face. But
yeah, I mean, it was kind of jerry-rigged and not constructed in the Doctor's TARDIS. But whatever.
It also won't surprise me that once they get in the TARDIS, she'll put the Sonic in the TARDIS, and the TARDIS will do work its magic, kind of improve it, make it better, not so sparky, blowy, uppy in your face. I'm also
Swiss Army Sonic.
Right.
I think that name should stick. Like how 6 had a Sonic Lance.
Yeah, but I don't think it rolls. I mean, you know, it's one of those. It'd be so much harder to put into a meme, a drinking meme. You know, it's so much easier to say, you know, take a shot anytime something's done with the Sonic screwdriver. I mean, frankly, if you say take a shot for every time the Sonic Swiss Army knife is used, it's just too many letters. It's too many letters. It doesn't roll off the tongue. I like it as a description, but I ain't gonna call it that. Mainly because it'd be too hard to build a drinking game around it. But that's just me.
Just sit back and watch Series 5 with this drinking game, and you'll be hammered by
Episode 2.
Oh, what episode? You'd be hammered by Victory of the Daleks. Let's be honest here.
For me, maybe. I don't know about you, but for me, maybe.
Or the 11th Hour Alone. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's that, and and I know this joke and comment's been made for ever since
for years
show.
now.
Well, and
good
not even
a
for
good
years,
decade.
but since the show and all that, they've decided that this is what Sonic's gonna look like and all that. And to a point, they did this more with 12 and that design and things like that. But I'm amazed that I haven't read anything where there's no comment about the Sonic dildo.
Oh, everybody made the jokes of, oh, look, it's the Doctor's new sonic screwdriver. Shows picture of a purple dildo. Ha ha ha! That's funny.
Ha ha ha! Funny.
Ha ha! Because it's a woman. Ha ha!
I don't know. I'm still, and the whole lack of TARDIS thing. I don't know if I'd like it or not. Mainly because I've seen the leaked pictures of the TARDIS interior and all that, and I don't know if I really want to see if it's true or not.
The crystallized design.
Like I said before, it just looks like it's gonna be a bad set that never got used in frickin' Hand of Fear.
I just hope that those leaked sets were just temporary set dressings for a damaged TARDIS look that had to be dealt with.
Then again, I don't know what would be worse, that one or the one that basically looked like a frickin' playground set.
Oh wow, you're thinking of that fucking. That was a Teletubbies set that people joked around about.
Oh, I know, but I mean, at this point, would you put it past them?
I really wouldn't. But
yeah.
Jumping to a different subject. Let's talk about the characters, the companions in particular from The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Yasmin, she felt like, her story was a little bit rushed. Actually, no, it was extremely rushed. She worked the night shift as a policewoman. Of course, there's not much that goes on event-wise, but then suddenly her world was turned upside down, and the Doctor came into her life. You only get brief scenes about how she wants something better, but there's not much else to her. She just kind of didn't do much when it comes to putting what to bring to the table. She was just kind of there because she was a policewoman, and she may have
presented beforehand too. And like I said, this was the one problem I had and this was when everything was announced early on. This was the problem I had. I had an issue with them having 3 companions and them trying to possibly having to introduce all 3 companion characters and a new Doctor all at the same time. Somebody's gonna, as far as development and things like that, especially early, somebody's getting left out.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
And it's one of those.
We got more Graham than we got of Yasmin, which I'm kind of okay with, because we could have left Yasmin out, and we could have left this all in Ryan's family. I'd be okay with this.
It wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be that bad. I wonder how this whole relationship will be, though, because from what it seems like is, it's one of those. Graham and Ryan are related, but
I have a feeling we're going to get characterization with Ryan and Graham and them having to come to terms with Grace's death during this journey, because what else would you do with them?
Well, and I think it'll linger around for a little bit. Eventually, I think they'll get over it, but I think they'll
start to build a relationship with each other, one that's not, well, Graham is second fiddle to his dearly beloved late grandfather, but
yeah, I kind of picked up on that, and I didn't know if that would come up quite a bit or be a thing for a while. I wasn't sure, but it's kind of one of those, I think only time will tell, and it's one of those, because I kind of think all the characters as a whole kind of got that treatment to a point.
At least we got Ryan's struggles with dyspraxia, and, well, in his And that little the scene of him just trying to continue the legacy of Grace by trying his hardest to ride a bike. It was endearing, to say the least.
Yeah, but
at the same time, I didn't feel like I had enough of an emotional attachment to care much about him, because they're basically telling you he has a disability, feel bad for him.
Right.
But at the same time, the death of Grace felt impactful enough. I mean, I kind of liked her character. She seemed sensible and outgoing and witty.
And
she would have been the type to go traveling with the Doctor, to be honest.
Right. And my thing with characters and trying to introduce characters and things like that, I have a general idea, or kind of a rule to an extent. Can you give me 3 things about a character that was introduced, such as a companion or the Doctor? Because I'll tell you right now, I can't think of 3 things about Yaz other than cop, friends with the other companions. I can't think of a 3rd thing to go along with it. I mean, you look at Ryan. You look at Ryan. Disorder related to other character. And then Graham, same ordeal. I mean, basically, second fiddle and related to whoever. I mean, drives a bus, but I mean, it's one of those, or works with bus drivers. I mean, other than that, I mean...
Yeah, when it comes to Graham, he's...
I think Graham...
He's down to earth, that's for sure.
Right, and I'll tell you right now, I think Graham got the most character development, and he probably really didn't say or do a damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, he had a few lines here and there that just gave little hints about his character,
but I mean,
about how...
Yeah, but I mean, other than
his values were more grounded compared to the rest of them.
Right, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I can't think of anything about any other character or anything like that. And
yeah,
and the one thing that, and another thing, and this really bugs me a bit, because so as as the Tooth guy gets defeated, gets the teleporter thrown at him, and this random schmuck, I forgot what his name was, kicks him off of the crane.
He was so important.
And
he was so important. He was so valid.
God, that was so funny. I kind of get it, but it was fucking hilarious.
I want to feel bad for him. I really do, but the more he kept repeating in those motivational little audiobooks and whatnot, It's made me think, my God, he's so highly insecure. It's a wonder why Toothfaced motherfucker would choose him, even though it was random.
And you know what bugs me about the whole thing, though? He does that, the Doctor turns and she's like, "You have no right," and then fucking cut away and nothing's said about it. I'm like...
Yeah, we could have had a speech, an early on speech from this incarnation.
I'm like, come on, can't you give a lecture or something, or bitch him out at least?
We didn't get any lines to sell her with. Just a bunch of hyped up moments where she's just trying to figure out who she is. But other than that, we could have had so much. Then you don't have the right. I mean, yeah, of course he doesn't have the right, because all life is precious and it must be preserved in any means necessary.
But by this point, it's kind of one of those to snap back into it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I am the Doctor, by the way," and then that happens, and then she does that, and then nothing. I'm like, really? And it's
seriously. That's
and the weird thing about that whole thing was, like I said, one, I didn't know when the episode felt like it started because of the whole title sequence. I didn't know, and you know this for a fact, I didn't realize the episode actually ended.
Wow.
I swear to God, I had no fucking clue the episode even ended.
I was kind of waiting during commercial breaks for it to continue again, because you'd think that they'd have more, but they just kind of cut off. They didn't even go to an ending credit sequence.
Yeah,
they just went straight. It's not even with the ending credits in the corner.
Yeah, and it's when they started talking to whoever, and I swear to God, you know what I thought it was? I thought it was a frickin', I thought it was one of those, hey, stay tuned after the episode, and we'll be talking with so and so, yada 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 yada.
That god awful, pre-show and after show. That was cringeworthy. Yeah, for any other American fans, I feel sorry for you, because in the UK there was no advertisements. There was a tidbit of the ending credits. There was a sneak peek for the next episode. Everything, but we didn't get that. We got a pre-show, interviews from various different people who knew little to nothing about the show, as if we were gonna get expert input.
Oh no! It was the pre-show and not as much the after show, but the pre-show is there. It was this watch party. It was the frickin' watch party with random who the fuck evers,
including Will Wheaton of all people.
Yeah, but but other than that, it's one of those, and you expect these people to give me what of value? I mean,
what? We don't care. Nobody really cared about what they said. Not even from Will Wheaton, because shut up, Wesley.
God, and it's one of those. And I'll tell you, and it's one of those, I watched like 3 or 4 minutes of the after show, and it's one of those, and at this point I'm thinking, you know what? I'm impressed. They made it through a whole episode and didn't get super political. Then whatever that guy was, it's like Doctor Who, but with women and brown people. I'm like...
It's like, this has never been done before! Wow! Women and people,
and I'll be honest, and I'm telling you, like I said, I don't know if you watched the after show, but I'm 95% sure that was the actual words. It was one of those.
Yep.
It's Doctor Who with women and brown people. I'm like, really?
Let's just forget about Martha. Fuck Martha. Martha never existed. Martha's not canon.
Martha, you mean Rose 2? You mean Rose Mark 2 or Rose Wannabe?
Yeah.
Or the oh my, or the fan equivalent of, oh, I wish she was Rose. It's a shame she's not Rose. Why can't it be Rose? Yada 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 yada, etc.
That's pretty much it for her character arc, which is sad. Oh, but anyway, yeah, I kind of tuned out of that after show, because right when I heard that, I thought, weird. Right. What have we become
now
as a fan base?
Right,
so as a mainstream fan base.
Yeah. So, and I thought about that. I'm like, that's just God. So, yeah. So like I said, I mean, the monsters were interesting this episode. The bad guys. I mean,
yeah. The episode was, I wouldn't say it was bad. I wouldn't say it was good either, but it was just okay, because characters were likable here and there. But
I'd give it about a solid 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, because I want to be invested in these characters and their incursions along the way with their time in the TARDIS and everything, but it was a pretty weak start.
Right, and like I said, it's one of those. It wasn't bad for what it was, but I think it was part of they tried to do too much when they couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, when they tried to do too much, it just came off as a short trip. Really, you probably not listened to short trips, but short trips were just small events that just happen. That just like. There's just things that happen in between stories. Well, the Doctor does something minor. It just felt like something minor.
I'm glad, being the first episode, it was extended and all that. It was extended to be a longer time slot and things like that. Now, imagine if they tried to do the same thing and tried to plug it in their hour and 15-minute time slot. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, unless they planned on doing a Moffat-esque story. Yeah, story.
But they
It
don't want to do
wouldn't.
story arcs.
It wouldn't. It would work much better because when it comes to Moffat stories, there's just so much being packed in all at once. There's just not enough time for you to just sit back, breathe, and evaluate what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the monsters weren't bad. The characters seemed a little lackluster, but I think it'll get better over time. I mean, the Sonic dildo was interesting. I mean, I don't know if I should be glad or sad about the lack of TARDIS so far. I mean, I don't know what I think about. I don't really remember much about the trailer for next week.
I wouldn't mind an entire story where they're just like kind of like the Keys of Marinus, kind of going on a bit of a quest, but to find the TARDIS, a bit like the Divergent arc for the Eighth Doctor's audios,
Right?
but this time there's the TARDIS. Well, actually, no, wait, yeah, both times the TARDIS is nowhere to be found. There's no way. That just seems to be the easy way to get a hold of it.
Yeah, so...
Wouldn't mind that, but they said there's no underlying story arc. I may call bullshit on that once they have something of an underlying story arc, but yeah, whatever.
Like I said, I mean, I'd give this episode probably a solid 6 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7.5 because I'm generous.
Right. I mean, I'm more generous about these episodes more than I am like Christmas episodes. I am the worst possible person when it comes to my opinions about the Christmas episodes, mainly because they're so bad and they get so fucking lazy about it.
Yeah, the only Christmas special that I like, well, actually, the only Christmas specials that are actually good are
bring up
Voyage of the Damned.
Episode.
Yeah.
Don't you
yeah,
dare
the
bring
Feast
it up,
of Stephen.
that was crap.
the Feast of Stephen was fun. It was just something to do in the middle of the Dalek master plan. Among other things, Voyage of the Damned was good, and the Return of Dr. Mysterio was fantastic because of the fact that it was self-aware of what it was.
Right.
A comic, well, a play on DC Comics or comics in general. But anyway,
not every Christmas special can be shitty, such as Last Christmas and, frankly, what was the other one I thought sucked? Next Doctor.
Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, or Last Christmas.
Yeah, can't get any worse than those.
Yeah, although the Christmas Carol was good on rewatch.
Well, yeah, but like I said, God, Last Christmas was bad. That was so bad.
Oh, Inception, dreams. This was a dream. None of this happened. But anyway. This has been Doctor Who Reviews. Insert name here because we haven't figured out what the fuck it's going to be called yet.
We will have it ready, though, by episode 4, I hope.
Yeah, we'll probably be here for the next episode, whatever the hell it's called. What is it called?
No clue. No clue. Continuation off of Plot Hanger from episode 1.
The Keys of Marinus Part 2.
Part 2?
Alright.
Like, Part 2? We didn't even have a Part 1! What the hell's going on? Anyways, yeah. Check out social media pages. They'll be posted in comments, descriptions, etc., etc.
And check out a Facebook page that I administrate. 26 Glorious Years. Classic Doctor Who on Facebook.com. Alright.
Behave yourself. Don't do anything I would do. We'll see you in a week. Adios.
Adios.